سر عباس آتا ہے، کہاں زینب نے یہ رو کر سنبھالو بیویوں چادر، سر عباس آتا ہے، بلا لائے سکینہ کو کوئی زندان سے جا کر، سر عباس آتا ہے، یہ غیرت کا خدا ہے، اس کی غیرت کا تقاضا تھا، کھلا سر دیکھ کے نیزے سے جو یہ سر گراتا تھا، نہیں ہے پاس گر چادر تو رکھ لو ہاتھ ہی سر پر، سر عباس آتا ہے، بھرا ہوگا لہو آنکھوں میں اس کی خود ہٹاؤں گی، میں بچپن کی طرح سے بھائی کا چہرہ دلہاؤں گی، اگر ممکن ہے تو دے دے کوئی پانی مجھے لا کر، سر عباس آتا ہے، مجھے اٹھنا پڑے گا بیویوں تعظیم کو اس کی، میں ماں ام البنی کی سمت سے غازی کو چوموں گی، سنبھالے سر کوئی اونو محمد کے یہاں کر، سر عباس آتا ہے، ملا پانی اسے پوچھا تو کیا بتلائے گی زینب، بھلا اس کی بھتیجی کو کہاں سے لائے گی زینب، نگاہیں اس کی ڈھونڈے گی سکینہ کو یہاں کر، سر عباس آتا ہے، تھے سب کی جھولیوں میں اپنے اپنے لاڈلوں کے سر، رقیہ ام لیلا ام فروا مادر اصغر، اٹھی کہتے ہوئے ہر ماں سر اپنے لال کا رکھ کر، سر عباس آتا ہے، تکلم شامیوں کی عورتوں بھی روتی جاتی ہے، علی کی بیٹیاں جلدی سے زخموں کو چھپاتی ہے، کھڑی ہے ہاتھ پھیلائے ہوئے خود زینب مضطر، سر عباس آتا ہے، कहाँ ज़ैनब ने ये रोकर संभालो बीवियों चादर सरे अब्बास आता है।
Thank you, brother. And without further delay, I would ask Maulana Sayyid Baqir Imrani to come forward and start the majlis. Per Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء أما بعد. First and foremost, my condolences to you, brothers and sisters in Islam, and to all of the believers throughout the world, especially to the master of our time, Imam al-Hujjah, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, on this eve of the Arbaeen of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. تسلیت عرض می کنم به شما برادران و خواهران ایمانی و همچنین به همه مؤمنین سراسر جهان، بالخصوص مولای ما حضرت مهدی عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف و علیه السلام، در این شب اربعین امام حسین علیه السلام. Our discussion tonight will have two parts, albeit briefly. The first part of our discussion will be a few points about the ziyarat and the musibat and mourning of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in English, and the second part, inshallah, will deal with the day of Arbaeen in Farsi, on the condition that you recite a loud salawat. Why is there so much emphasis in the school of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam about the ziyarat, about the musibah, about the crying, about the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Why is this given such importance and precedence in our school of thought by our pure leaders and imams, to the point that they themselves cried for Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, went to the ziyarat of Imam Hussein, had majalis for Imam Hussein, and encouraged people to make others cry for Imam Hussein, to the point that it has been related in a hadith that if you make one person cry for the musibat of Imam Hussein, Allah has made paradise and Jannah wajib for you. One person, you cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Allah has made it obligatory for you to go to the ziyarat of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. We see that in the life of the Ma'asumin alayhimus salam and following suit in the life of the Shias and the Mu'mineen, there is a very lofty position and high respect for one who is referred as the Maddah of Ahlul Bayt, one who recites the praises of Ahlul Bayt, one who recites the musibat of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And it is the hope of every mu'min that they could be considered from this category. Next to that, as we mentioned previously on Saturday night, that there is a high position, a lofty position for the Za'ir, the Zawar of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And we mentioned some of the rewards for the Zair of Abi Abdullah and the position that the Zawar of Imam Hussein alayhi salam hold before Allah, His Messenger, and the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Why so much emphasis? One of the reasons is that you see, this insan consists of two parts. We have this quwwatul hafidha. We have this ability that we remember. Allah has given us the power to remember things that we see, events that we experience, matters that we hear and learn. We can remember that. This memory which Allah has bestowed upon us is so powerful that once we meet someone, as an example, the memory stores their features, their look, their voice, how we met them, who they are. Then when we come back again and see that person, very quickly it brings it back to mind who this person is, what is the mushakhasat and the particularities of this person, how should I deal with this person? Is it a mu'min or is it a kafir? Is it a friend? Is he a friend or a foe? This powerful memory, this quwwatul hafiza that Allah has given to insan. But next to that quwwa is also the ability of nisyan, to forget. We, on a regular basis, imagine that memory and strong memory is a good thing. But this is not always the case. Yes, for the most part, generally speaking, a powerful enemy is a great tool for one to have, especially in the field of sciences and ilm. But at times, this memory can also be a calamity. There is a hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in which he is discussing to one of his choice companions by the name of Mufaddal. And the hadith is known as Tawheedul Mufaddal. It's ma'ruf, this hadith, where the Imam talks about the signs of Allah, and one of those signs of Allah are the features of this insan. In this hadith, our Imam says that forgetfulness and nisyan is also a barakah from Allah. It is a gift from Allah. Why? Because it happens that many times in our lives we experience traumatic events, very difficult matters which traumatize us, which make us sad, overtake our lives, break our hearts. If we constantly remember those events, our life could become a living hell. Our life could be full of calamity and punishment, in a sense. But because we forget those difficult events, we forget the pain, we are able to live a better quality of life, and we are able to work for what our purpose is in this life of this world. If that was the case, that we remembered every single event, the good, alhamdulillah, everybody wants to remember the good. But if we remembered the bad and the hardships and the traumas, then we would become paralyzed. We could not move forward in this purpose that Allah has placed us in this world. So this insan has two important gifts. One is memory, and one is the ability to forget. So having said that, the reason why one of the reasons why this matter about Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, his ziyarat, his musibat, his shahadat, all of these matters are emphasized so much, and we are reminded so much, and we are encouraged to participate in them very much by the A'imma alayhimus salam, is that this event of Karbala should not be forgotten. Its significance is so important that it must last ila yawm al-qiyamah, to the day of judgment. The message, the event, the shahadat, the musibat, the ziyarat, the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam shall remain alive. And anyone who works to remember and remind, anyone who works to establish these realities and events are from the chosen servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the day of judgment, they shine brightest. They are the most beloved to the Prophet of his Ahlul Bayt. In reality, they are the neighbors of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt in paradise. We cannot fathom, next to that quwwa, hafidha, and that ability to forget and nisyan, Allah has given us another power known as quwwatud darraka. We can understand many realities. But certain realities are outside our ability to understand. Even you see in the Quran, Allah addresses the Holy Prophet and says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ, for example. That even the Prophet, as powerful as his soul and his brain are, there are matters that were outside of his dark and understanding that Allah, it stated to him. We, as powerful as this ability is, are unable to truly appreciate and understand the value of all of these phenomena that are related to Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. You might listen to the Matam and the Nawha and the Sinazani and the Latam, but you don't understand truly what the value of that is. You might participate, or you might listen to the Musibah of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, or you might recite it to others, or you might write the poetry, or go to the ziyarat, visit the grave, have the majalis of Imam Hussein, raise the banner of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein in your marakiz and in your houses. But what are the values? To us, when we look at them, they seem simple to us. But when we start to understand them, pay attention to them and understand them, little by little we start to realize how much barakah, how much blessings are within all of these matters. So there is not a surprise that when we see the turba of Imam Hussein, we kiss it, we rub it against our eyes. It is not a surprise when someone does the majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We respect them, we honor them, we attend it, we're a part of that, especially when it is in our masajid and our Husayniyat. So that we do not forget. You see, you might say, we all understand, we know, but this is just our generation. A couple generations in the future, it's very possible that the realities of today will be forgotten. It happens in every aspect of our lives. One is that we don't pay attention, we don't give it importance, we don't pass it down to the future generations, so it is forgotten. True, there are many things that we know of today, but if we're not careful to pass that knowledge down to the future generations, they will be completely ignorant of it. Completely ignorant of it. One of the big things that you see amongst the people, especially the academics or the pseudo academics of the West, is their amazement with the building of these pyramids. I'm sure you've all seen something or other that they're amazed. How were these pyramids built? To the point that they are so astonished by them, and they have gotten the knowledge, the know-how, and the techniques of the past, to the point that some people claim that human beings were not capable of building these pyramids. It must have been aliens from another planet who came and they built them. That knowledge of building that they used at that time and how they built, it doesn't exist anymore. People are dumbfounded by it. They don't realize. Even the way that they used to make homes 100, 150 years ago, it doesn't exist anymore. The builders of today cannot build a home or a building like those people who built it in those days. Knowledge, awareness, ilm can be forgotten by the future generations. In addition to that, there are a group of people who are working day in and day out to make us forget. You see, I'll give you an example on the condition that you recite aloud salawat. But I won't mention too much in regards to it. Our brothers of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah have very high regard for two books after the Quran. They're ma'ruf amongst them as Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Sahih al-Bukhari is considered the most important book after the Quran in the Sunni world. You see today, whatever print that you look of, the modern prints of Sahih Muslim or Bukhari, when it mentions the names of Ali, Fatima, Hassan, and Hussein, alayhimus salam, it follows it by radiyallahu anhu or anha in the case of Sayyidah Zahra. However, when you go back to the older prints, not even 100 years ago, of these books, whenever Bukhari used to mention and write the name of one of these individuals from the Ahlul Bayt, he used to write alayhi salam, alayhi salam. Bukhari. It's some of the prints exist today even. But there is a movement amongst people to revise and erase those documents that evidence that the Ahlul Bayt's name, their position was so high that the ulama of the past used to recall them with alayhi salam, just as they used to recall the Anbiya with alayhi salam. But today, you don't see that in the writings of the ulama and the people. Therefore, it's important that these documents are preserved so the future generation doesn't become confused with the status of the Ahlul Bayt or any knowledge, any reality. Said that. The same kind of effort is being made on a daily basis so that people forget the Karbala of Imam Hussein alayhi salam as well. Same kind. Especially from the outsiders and the enemies of Islam, because they see how powerful the movement of Imam Hussein is, how it impacts the hearts of the believers. Whoever has a pure heart, Muslim or not, Shia or not, when they hear the name of Imam Hussein, because of the purity of their heart, they're impacted by this name of Hussein alayhi salam. They want to erase that from the face of the world. Of course, Allah will not allow that to be erased. And one of our responsibilities is to keep that alive. The reasons are many. Why? Inshallah, for the sake of our brief time, that should be enough for the English part. بحثی که امشب خواستم که توجه شما عزیزان را به آن و توجه خود بنده اولا داشته باشیم این است که درباره کارهای اعمال که سفارش شده است در روز اربعین ابی عبدالله الحسین علیه السلام مرد مؤمن زن مؤمن باید انجام بدهد. یک عملی که خیلی سفارش شده است، مستحب است در روز اربعین ابی عبدالله الحسین این است که غسل زیارت گرفتن، غسل زیارت با نیت غسل زیارت اربعین امام حسین علیه السلام قربتا الی الله و هم کفایت وضو را هم میکند انشاءالله. غسل اربعین، زیارت اربعین ابی عبدالله الحسین. و لازم نیست که این غسل در کربلا انجام گرفته شود، در هر جا، چون ما دو قسم زیارت داریم برای ابی عبدالله. یکی از اقسام زیارت امام حسین زیارت از نزدیک می باشد که خدا توفیق بدهد بنده را برود کربلا، از نزدیک امام حسین علیه السلام را زیارت کند، کنار ذریع آقا بایستد و زیارت را اونجا بخواند، زیارت نامه را. اما همچنان تاکید شده است، مستحب است که ابی عبدالله از دور هم زیارت شود. حتی اگر در کره ما هم بودید، زیارت امام حسین علیه السلام سفارش شده است، مستحب است. لذا ما هم می توانیم این غسل را در روز اربعین انجام بدیم ثوابش خیلی زیاد است. یکیش این است که انسان همه گناهانش ریخته می شود با سبب این غسل زیارت ابی عبدالله الحسین علیه السلام. چقدر عظمت دارد.